Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome back once again to another exciting episode of Disney Compendium, Volume 29, The Rescuers Down Under. I am your host, as usual, JJ, and over there, the other end of this line, is my good buddy Nick. Nick, how you doing?
Doing great, JJ. We've reached the halfway point.
We
Uh,
have
we're we're here. We're going to talk about Quickly Down Under, starring Tom Selleck.
uh,
Uh,
that's Chippendale Rescue Rangers. That's Chip is going to be dressed as.
Tom's, he
Uh,
uh, he told Alan Rickman that he never had use for a revolver, but that he didn't know how to use one, and then he like totally won that gunfight. Oh dear God, I've done it again.
yes, at least you got half the title right this
Sure, sure.
time. 1990, November 16th, 1990. The Rescuers Down Under, cashing in 4 years too late on the American craze of Australia. Uh,
Yep, yep.
uh, and the first canonical sequel in the Disney. Like there's been sequels, but none of them have been like story sequels. This is like
This
a
is
legitimate
a
sequel
straight
sequel.
sequel. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like picking up like shortly after the previous movie, it seems like. Except everyone sounds older and more tired. Uh,
Yeah, Bob Newhart's just like, yeah, Miss Bianca, you want to, I don't know.
yeah, I like Bob Newhart, but he was really sort of walking through it at this time. Ava,
Contraction.
yeah, Ava Gabor sounded more alive, and this was like her
Yeah,
final film role. So
yeah. Internet. Honestly, the most, the two people who most in this movie were John Candy and
yeah,
George C. Scott. So,
yeah, George C. Scott is the poacher. Uh, it's a very. I love George C. Scott because he just sounded exactly like George C. Scott throughout the entire movie. Like, despite looking like some sort of generic like Australian poacher, you could just picture it as George C. Scott the entire time.
gonna cut out their hearts one piece at a time.
And, and John Candy just in full blown John Candy mode.
Yep. Like, it's a kind of the peak of his career right here. About John Candy, maybe?
Well, I mean, this came out.
90. So he
This
had
came out in 1990.
Delirious.
No, this he opened against himself because Home Alone came out at the same time as this movie.
Oh, oh dear God. Yeah. So we know how this
We'll
movie
get
did,
to.
don't we?
Oh yeah. It did worse than you could probably think too. Uh, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Rescuers Down Under, immediate sequel. We are. This is the second movie into the Disney Renaissance era,
Yeah.
starting with Little Mermaid and ending with Tarzan. Um,
Well.
hey, I don't make up the rules. That's how the Disney Renaissance is. It starts with the Little Mermaid and ends with Tarzan. I don't care what you think about Tarzan. That's just how it is.
Oh, but you do. You do care.
Um, but yeah, so you get straight out the gate. You can tell that there's something different about this movie visually.
Lots of CG.
It is Disney's first ever fully digital movie,
Yeah, like
and
that sweeping
yeah,
shot at the beginning. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of there's and CGs in it. It's using the CAPS system, which is sort of what Pixar was at the
Hmm.
time, which is like computer assisted program. You know, like. Uh,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so you're introduced immediately to the uh, boy, the child of the movie, similar to the first movie, which is about a child getting kidnapped. This movie is about a child getting kidnapped.
Cody.
Um, Cody, fresh off of announcing TNT has picked up his
Yeah.
wrestling series. He's now trying to save some animals.
He he's all in on
He's
rescuing animals.
again inexplicably, with no reasoning behind it, he can talk to the animals,
Yeah,
and some of the animals can talk to him, but then others can't. Again,
yeah,
similar to the first movie where, uh, like, and like Little Mermaid and things like that, where it's like you're inconsistent as to what animals can and can't talk because yeah, he's being told by his outback friends about the big eagle has been tied down. The gold eagle has been tied down.
the kangaroo
Yeah,
specifically.
the kangaroo.
Yeah,
Um,
which he had to unlock by defeating the clown guy at the end of stage 2.
uh, but the eagle can understand him, but
Yeah,
can't talk to him. Which
yeah,
again, don't understand the rule set of this superpower this kid has. He can
yes,
only talk to mammals.
yes. Also, the eagle's unnaturally cuddly. The
Yeah,
cuddly eagle.
yeah, it's really I, it's like nuzzling and it's like
Yeah,
the eagle actually has very good like animation reactions. Like they did a
yeah,
good job of like making it seem excited about the prospect of its babies and sad that the dad's gone and
yeah.
all that stuff. And again, it's Disney movie starts off relatively soon with like you know a death of a parent. Uh,
Off screen, of course,
yes,
but
you don't see, but it's you learn that the once the eagle is freed, it takes Cody on an incredibly dangerous adventure through the
it,
Australian outback,
it lets you
flying.
it lets you free fall for a good,
Yeah,
100 feet before
yeah,
it
that's
gets
pretty
him.
cool. I do like also the got him in the talons and then
Yeah,
start tickling him with one of those claws. Like,
yeah.
no, 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 no,
Stop it!
no.
Stop that right now!
Um,
Giant terror bird.
yeah,
As sweet as you are.
yeah, yeah. You're literally a raptor. Let's just.
How do you pronounce the eagle's name? Ma
It's like Marute.
Marute?
Yeah,
I don't
Naruto. Uh,
know. Oh man, that eagle just running with its arms straight back.
yeah.
No reason.
Um, uh, yeah. So it's like Mahabrute or something. Like I can't remember exactly
We're
what
just
it is.
gonna pronounce it as the eagle.
The eagle.
Yeah.
Uh, we're not
Because
indigenous to this country. We don't know.
nah, yeah, we don't come from a land down under.
um. Uh. But yeah. So uh. We 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 get this whole scene of him flying around and saving him and screwing with the kid.
Yeah. And then Cody eventually fought, after the eagle, he and the eagle kind of hang out for a bit, and he frees a mouse from a trap.
Yeah, yeah. He frees a mouse from a trap, which in turn activates a trap, so he falls into a hole.
I think it's like a tiger pit or something.
Yeah, and so you meet uh, McLeach.
McLeach, George C.
Yeah,
Scott.
George C. Scott in his crazy Mad Max truck. Uh,
Mm-hmm. George C. Scott. Hey
yeah,
kids,
which is
what's more terrifying, George C. Scott in The Exorcist 3 or George C. Scott as an animated character?
boy, it's almost a push, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
George C. Scott is not built for cartoons
No.
in any way, shape, or form, and so
The only reason I asked that is because at some point in this movie, Homeboy starts singing,
yeah, he does.
and man, is that an off-putting?
Yeah, like don't, no, just don't. So, and he has um, a
Komodo dragon?
goanna. It's a goanna,
Yeah,
which is just a big monitor lizard of Australia.
man.
But it doesn't like it does the Disney thing. It does that thing where it's like they did with Godzilla, like when they do posters and stuff where they paint it green because it's a lizard, so it has to
Hmm.
be bright green, and it's like, oh, okay, but it looks like,
Joanna.
yeah, yeah.
He named it Joanna.
Joanna, he seems like a lonely man, so
Yeah. Here's my lizard, Joanna.
yeah. So he tries to play it off like the lizard, the Joanna dug the hole, and he's mad
Yes.
at it, and that he's not a poacher.
She
Uh,
she she did this 40 by 40 hole.
yeah, perfectly square grave.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so he eventually like helps him out of the hole and finds the feather that the eagle gifted Cody for as a thank you for saving him or saving her.
Right.
And that's where you find out that McLeach is who killed the dad, and he's trying to get this eagle and the eggs um, for seemingly no reason other than just
Yeah,
he's a bad poacher because he doesn't it's never really implied that he's trying to sell the corpses.
she's just like,
It
I
seems
just
like
want to kill stuff.
yeah, it's not even like a trophy hunter. Like he's trying like because he killed this eagle and all he has to show for it is the feather.
Because
Like
what did you do with the rest of it?
yeah, it's not like it's like it's never implied that he's like selling the like Cruella de Vil is buying up these bodies or anything. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
all you see is well he's got the feather and now he wants to kill the rest of the family.
I
Like
mean,
it's just real grade A psychopath.
at least the dude in Up was like, oh, I want it for this reason.
Yeah, there's seemingly no reason to him other than just to be
A dumb,
um
a wasteful idiot.
yeah, just be an avatar for evil. Like this is like the Disney hasn't really done a movie like this since Bambi, where it's
Yeah.
very much a respect nature kind
Hmm.
of thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of this is like conservation, and, respect nature, and don't just go around killing animals for the sake of killing animals.
It were also in the stretch of Disney movies here where the evil characters are not subtle at all.
No, it's like you might as well just like all be just like have evil and like Cruella de Vil, like
Yeah.
just might as well have a name like that. Like McLeach definitely is a sleazy name. So
Yeah. I mean, we're coming up on the point where villains have their own theme songs about how
yeah.
evil they are.
So we have so he kidnaps Cody because he wants to find the location of the eagle, and I
Yep.
do like that he takes the backpack and throws it to the crocodiles
Yeah.
so that it'll get stumbled upon and assumed that he's been killed by crocodiles,
Yep.
which is how it's reported in the news.
Yeah. And also, does Cody kind of slips in and out of that Australian accent a little bit.
He absolutely does. There were plenty of times where I'm like, is he supposed to be Australian?
Yeah.
Like it's unclear
Because
because he really does like. I mean, it's hard. It's a kid doing the voice, and
right.
yeah,
But at the beginning of the movie, he's like, "No worries, Ma," and then later
yeah,
on, he's like,
yeah.
"Oh no,
Oh, raspberries, kind of.
oh fish." Like
Yeah,
even Kevin Costner was like, "Man, just commit to the accent."
yeah, exactly. Yeah, um, uh, yeah. So we got that. I do. No, I have to save that one for later. Um, uh, what was So the mouse that was saved
Right.
uh, sees that he's getting kidnapped and goes to his secret base, like
I guess.
where he somehow can send a telegram out. Like he's like a telegraph is being sent to the Rescue Aid Society.
He's sending out an RAS.
Yeah.
What? So he sends it. He sends it. He has to get relayed to Hawaii from Australia.
Yeah.
And then like the whole way of relaying it to New York is contingent upon them distracting the guy in Hawaii. Like if he's
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna answer that phone right now. Nope.
yeah, yeah. But no, it all works out. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes its way to New York. Um, Bernard is trying to propose to Bianca at this.
Yeah. Oh
It
man.
was this was a hard watch. Like it, it's just like this. It's just embarrassing. It's just like this isn't like it's a dumb thing for kids. Like this would be in a sitcom, not or
Yeah.
like or like another romancing the stone movie or something. But not.
Well, it gives you that sense of Waja, but
Yeah,
also it's just Bob Newhart just like
Bob Newhart mumbling his way through some
he's
lines.
just
Like,
like, man.
but he's just like I said at the top of the show. He's just kind of walking through this movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care as much as he did in the first movie.
No,
They
but
had
he's
some they had some really good chemistry in the original movie,
yeah.
and that chemistry is half there this time around.
But
Ava
he's like
Gabor seems more interested in this movie
yeah.
than he does.
But to be fair, he's also like 20 something years older at this point.
Yeah,
And Bob Newhart's always been perpetually 50.
yeah,
So you would tack on 20 years of that.
yeah. I mean, like Ava Gabor literally has one foot in the grave.
Yeah. And she's
Because
like, let's do it.
yeah, she's just all in. Like she knew this was going to be her last movie and was going to have fun as possible with it.
I just like that while they're eating dinner, like what they have for dinner is dependent upon like, whatever that cricket finds on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean, so's the life of a mouse. I
I
mean,
guess. But
they
like
are just they are just mice. Yeah,
yeah, they're just spies. But like they have like a freaking Michelin star cricket chef
yeah,
just waiting for food droppings.
um,
I don't know.
yeah. But
Don't overthink it.
yeah. So, anyways, it all just this scene just ends up with him thinking she's agreeing to a marriage proposal, but really it's just a proposal to go to Australia for this crazy mission.
Yeah.
Uh, so so they're off. They go to find Orville. Um,
Get it?
yeah.
Because the albatross in the first movie was
No,
Wilbur.
no, yeah. No, it's they went
This
to
is
go
Wilbur.
find Orville. Couldn't find him,
Yes.
but they find Wilbur. So
Will.
yes, Wilbur and Orville. Yes, the Wright brothers. It's a constant show. That was apparently a. I think that was a Roy Disney thing, if I recall
That
correctly.
seems like a very wholesome, folksy joke. Like, get
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like a Disney kind of goof. So it makes
Yeah.
sense that was Roy's suggestion,
Yeah.
because the actor has since passed since the last movie. So um, um, it was Jim Jordan has since passed, and so yeah. Instead, you meet Wilbur, as voiced by the ever lovely John Candy.
John,
Um,
who has a great voice for animation.
just
Sorry,
fantastic.
had a great voice for
Yeah.
animation.
Um, like he had his own cartoon. Like like
Oh
so.
my god, he did.
Yeah, he had Camp
I
Candy.
I
So
forgot about Camp Candy.
Camp Candy ran for a very long time, surprisingly
Good
too.
God.
Yeah.
Camp Candy and Little Rosie.
So, um, so yeah, he just every scene that he's in, he is just chewing the scenery.
Yep.
Uh, he is just all in on being this character.
He's chewing the scenery like it's a 96-ounce steak.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're like, okay, we need to go to Australia, and he's like, I'm not going to Australia. Look at it out there. Um, but like they're able to convince him. Well, Bianca's able to convince him because he knows exactly who Bianca is.
Mhm.
famous celebrity, and a child is missing, and that upsets him dearly. So they convince him to go to Australia, even though he
Right.
didn't want to. And it's where you meet. Once you get to Australia, you meet Jake. It's Jake,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Jake,
Jake.
Jake, the Australian mouse, um, who just is coming on strong to Bianca.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, I must say,
yeah, yeah. Um, Wilbur with just a horrific injury. Uh,
yeah, hurts himself.
yeah, he gets sent to Crazy Mouse Hospital. Uh,
It's like some weird experimental surgery clinic.
yeah, it seems like this was like it's it feels like this is a reference to something that we don't understand in this like in 2019. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like in 1986 when this movie was greenlit to 1990 when it came out, like there was something here. There was a movie that came out that was similar to like this. I mean, it's horror hospital is a theme of pretty much any movie that's existed at some point. You know what I mean? Like,
It was a reference to Reanimator.
yeah. The tranquilizer shotgun. Like, it's not like a little rifle.
No,
This is a legitimate shotgun that makes an audible blast sound when they shoot him in the butt with a
yeah,
tranquilizer dart. It makes a significant sound. Like
yeah.
the catastrophic injury
It
occurred with this.
it doesn't help that he is like crying and begging for his life
Yeah,
as it's going on. Like this is kind of disturbing to watch.
but yeah, whatever that surgery is, they do not explain it.
No,
but uh,
it's his
but
back basically. He's hurt his
yeah,
back.
yeah. So yeah, it's like he like bent his spine out of
Hmm.
his spot. So he's he eventually has his experimental surgery, gets out, and starts looking for his friends.
Yeah,
Um,
he escapes because they straighten his back or something.
yeah. Um, you get to McLeach again with Cody
Yep.
and a bunch of other animals, and like a kangaroo and a weird one of those frill lizards with the frill around their neck kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to trying to unlock the lock with his tail like it's a Mickey Mouse cartoon. Like,
Yeah. The kangaroo was for the one from the beginning of the movie who
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
yeah. The lizard also then squirts Dennis Nerdy in the face later on.
yeah. Just a few years later, it goes on to
It's like he's like,
superstardom.
I've had it.
Yeah,
I need to kill Wayne Knight.
I'm sick of this Newman. Um, but yeah, so eventually McLeach finds out how to play Cody um, into like it's actually a relatively brilliant plan
Yeah,
that
he's
he's
like
concocted. He's going to lie to Cody about the death of the mom
right.
because he knows that Cody is protecting those eggs. Like those are like his weak point. So the mom's dead and the eggs are abandoned essentially, and so he frees him. You know, so like he heard the story that the eagle was killed, that the eggs now don't have anybody, and that's so I don't need you anymore. So just whatever, get out of here.
And like thinking that Cody will lead him to the nest.
Yeah, which is exactly what ends up
Yeah,
happening. Um, so far, the mice have been relatively inconsequential to the story, uh,
kinda. Yeah.
um, but Cody Cody gets to the nest, and this is where they finally like meet, and the mice are trying to tell him, "No, this is a trap. You've been tricked," but it doesn't matter. Um, I guess it makes sense. Like the whole plot is to kill the eagle and to let his lizard eat the eggs.
Which you think he would just let the eggs hatch,
Yeah,
and so he'd kill more eagles?
yeah, because it seems like that's all he cares about.
Just murdering.
Yeah, yeah. But Bernard is able to use a nice little, replace the eggs with rocks goof,
Yeah.
which is good. That's good.
It's
That's
so
there. You see that it's not the first time I feel like I've seen this exact goof where eggs have been replaced with rocks.
was it? It might have been like one of the Land Before Time movies.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
certainly makes sense that would be it.
Yeah, and so you get Joanna trying to like gnaw on these rocks.
Yeah. Um, and Joanna is just a real dummy.
Yeah.
Just um, Wilbur makes his grand reappearance and is convinced to sit on the eggs while
Yes.
while they go while they go off to save the day. So John Candy again just left to not be on screen.
The Polka King in Wisconsin is just
Yeah.
there.
um,
And,
we're getting into the end game here,
oh man,
where they're at
he
Crocodile Falls.
snaps his finger. Oh, sorry. This is also where we get George C. Scott singing.
Yes. It's not.
You get a line, I get a pull.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. This people were kind of down on this movie because he just came from Little Mermaid, and then you have this where it's not a musical.
Yeah.
It has no song. It
Nope.
has George C. Scott singing a song, but it has no song. Like,
Yeah.
and when we say George C. Scott singing, it's just more of a like road trippy kind of like character moment, and not an actual like
Yeah. He's
musical
just
act break.
doing a ditty like
Yeah,
a yeah.
yeah. He's just doing a limerick. Is really all he's doing. Like,
Basically, yeah. He's
yeah,
just doing the old "You get a line, I get a pull" song.
yeah. Uh, God, just that's it's a nightmare.
It is, yeah, and also he's using Cody as bait for the
Yeah,
crocodiles.
yeah, um, yeah. It's just and like he's like hanging him like a comic book supervillain.
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna slowly lower you into this vat of ace chemicals. Uh, like
like he drops him in the water and then he pulls him back out, just like see,
yeah,
no, just drop him, dude. If you're gonna drop him,
but Bernard saves the day by pig whispering a wild razorback and writing
yeah,
it in like this is very this feels again like a 1980s like Australia. We are hooked on Australia as a country.
yeah.
It never this movie never really takes advantage of its setting. uh,
No, it has like the indigenous life, but it's never
yeah,
like
but yeah, it's like there's never it's not like the Lion King where like you sit down and watch it. It takes full advantage of like this, the African
right.
desert settings and stuff, like and things like that. Like it just happens to take place in Australia. You never feel like you're in the outback or anything.
No,
Like
like
if it weren't for the animals, and only a couple of the animals, the razorback and the eagle
and
and
the kangaroo.
yeah, the kangaroo and the monitor lizard,
Yeah,
like just a handful of animals. It's but like the first one had you know like crocodiles in it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, also
so,
you think they would have like just done like a boomerang goof at some point, right?
some point, or just some sort of, or anything like remotely like resembling a Crocodile Dundee joke,
Yeah.
like or anything. Like there's no like outside of McLeish, there's no. You'd think there'd be some sort of like Crocodile Dundee esque character, instead, but there
Well, I
isn't.
mean, I guess Jake is kind
Jake
of.
is, but he's not in it enough to really like. You don't really ever connect in any way, shape, or form with Jake.
Jake's just there to like to hit on Bianca and like question Bernard's
Yeah,
manhood.
yeah. Um, so yeah, so the boar comes charging into town. Uh, They disable the truck thing, Mad Max mobile.
Yeah, by just
Um,
taking the key out.
yeah, yeah. It's like McLeach tries to shoot the rope.
Yep. He misses the first time.
Yeah, you,
Like, don't
like you should be better at this than you are, all things considered. But nah,
don't you have a knife? Like,
yeah,
use the
that's
knife.
that's not a knife.
This is a knife.
Yeah.
I called him chess was this.
You can't help but like, yeah. I was just expecting a big boot, any
Yeah.
big, a, a kick in the butt through the gate with a
Yep.
normal sized shoe.
Yes. Yeah, and
Um,
then as this movie illustrates, Po Buddy's nerf it.
yeah, um, yeah. So yeah, he tries to kill Cody, like just tries to kill a child.
Yeah. The,
Like just that's the common thread between the two movies is that evil people have no problem just horrifically murdering children. Uh,
well, his logic is, well, the Rangers already think you're dead, so.
yeah, and
Eh.
it's I mean, and it's that's decent logic, I guess, for evil villain. Like, yeah, I mean, they think he's dead already, so they're not gonna. But yeah, uh, Joanna gets like tricked into like tackling McLeach essentially. Like,
Bernard like has her chase him,
yeah,
and then they run into
yeah,
McLeach and Joanna and Cody and
yeah,
Bernard all fall into the water.
yeah. Um, McLeach left to like just fight some crocodiles, which uh, already a bad situation. He's busy thinking about these crocodiles until he forgets that this is Crocodile Falls,
Yep.
uh, and just yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
McLeach should have just stuck to the rivers and the lakes he was used to.
just around the river bend is is the waterfall.
Death.
Yeah,
And then so we get Wilbur here, or sorry, Bernard,
yeah,
who he has to like keep Cody from going to the waterfalls,
yeah.
displaying some crazy upper body strength for a mouse.
Some real flounder strength uh,
Yeah.
from Bernard here. Uh, but yeah, so look, long end of the story here is the eagle is freed. Everyone lives happily ever after. Bernard proposes to Bianca
On the Eagle.
on the eagle, and
Yeah.
and she accepts it. Uh, and there we go. Wilbur is just completely forgotten about by everyone and is left behind on the eggs. Um,
Yeah, like they
is
were.
the is the mom going taking them back to New York and leaving her babies behind? Because they are hatching now, and they are
Uh,
going to imprint on Wilbur at this point.
is it implied now that Wilbur is the new dad?
I, I, I
The
I'm,
egg just
I'm
hatched. Are you our new daddy? Oh no, me and your mom are just friends, man.
yeah. Now I got to go to the 7-Eleven. Smokes. So
Wilbur, he never came back.
yeah, yeah.
Never came
But no,
back.
that's where it ends. It ends with the eggs, with the eagle flying off, uh, uh,
Yeah,
and Wilbur hatching the eggs and then seemingly attacked by one of the baby eagles. Although you don't see any of it; it's all happening off screen. Uh,
well, you would assume based on the size of the eggs and Wilbur's size, they're probably bigger than him.
yeah, and he's an albatross. Like
Yeah,
albatross, well known for being massive birds.
right.
So, um, so yeah, that's Rescuers Down Under.
If
Uh,
if this podcast feels rushed, so did this movie.
yeah, it just sort of it starts slow, and then once the plot happens, it all happens at once. Like
Yeah, it's I mean it's rescuers in like almost in name only because, like you said, Bernard and Bianca are just kind of there.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. It really is a story of like of just a kidnapped kid. Like he's doing everything in his power to break free. Like the little girl in the Rescuers one was just sort of complacent because she was an orphan.
Yeah,
And so, she was just kind of complacent and sad. Like this kid was feisty
Cody's
and
got a
fiery.
mom.
Yeah, Cody's got a mom, and he's got, he's kind of feisty, and
Yeah,
he's got attitude, and he's trying to not be there. He's
right.
actively, he's working to not be there. Like I feel like if the mice didn't get involved, the story he probably still could have resolved the story himself.
The eagle would have got free somehow and
Yeah,
saved the day.
yeah, something, but yeah,
It's like a jumbled mess of different stories. It feels like.
yeah, and it's not like there wasn't much like uh much going on with this movie. It was like it was greenlit in '86, which again is exactly why this takes place in Australia because that's the peak of Crocodile Dundee is out and uh, Men at Work have a hit song and and
Yeah,
American
and
Yahoo Serious Film Festival.
and Mel Gibson's a big star, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
yeah. So it makes sense that the concept of this movie, like an Australia-based animation, I don't. It's weird that it's a sequel. Like,
it's weird that it's a theatrical release.
yeah, it's weird. Like, because this sort of predates Disney doing their weird sequel-y stuff. Um, but um, Disney, like, I don't know why they chose this to be their sequel. Like,
I,
The Rescuers initially wasn't one of their more massive successes. It was a success, but like there's a number of movies that you could have tapped for a sequel, but this is what you went with. I guess because it's easier to concept out.
you really you're not going to insert really anybody else into an Australian setting.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to make a you're finally going to make like your Sword in the Stone sequel with but set it in the outback or something.
Turned out King Louis went to Australia.
Yeah, and then he's a friend with the Albatross twins.
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's a very weird movie because again, uh, uh, there was no like there's nothing like crazy about the production of this movie. Like they greenlit it in '86. They started working on it because action adventure Australia movies were popular,
like
and
Quigley, like I
yeah,
mentioned earlier. Yeah,
yeah, and you have and save the trees kind of mentality is back with American consciousness. So to make a environmental conservation movie made sense for Disney too. So you get
yeah.
to do two of these things where Australia, well known and loved for its sort of wildlife um, situation, and Crocodile Dundee and all that stuff. Um, so they decided to do that instead of another musical. Um, which, as we will see, uh, bad call.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I like and like in so they greenlight it in '86. Uh, they sign up the two original cast members of Bob Newhart and Ava Gabor.
Did they
Uh,
sign them at
it,
'86 as well, or
no, a couple years later, like
okay,
'88 is when they
okay,
signed them on. And the only other returning member is the of the cast is the head mouse of the society.
oh, the head UN mouse, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's the only other returning cast member. Jim Jordan died, the voice of Orville, so they had no choice but to replace him. Um, And so that's that. I think the most significant thing about this is this was, like I said, CG.
Right. If it
Uh,
looked good,
yeah, it looked good, but it looked off-putting. It looked like a first attempt. Something about it seemed wrong to me, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Like, I don't know. Uh,
I can see what you mean. Like there's some
yeah,
of like the sweeping, like terrain shots are kind of like.
yeah,
It,
uh,
it looks like it was kind of like the dry run for like Lion King.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, um, I think at this point, see, this is '90s, so Discovery Island must be up and running at Disney World. So I bet you there was some sort of tie-in with the animals because that was what
Probably.
Discovery Island was basically proto Animal Kingdom, where it was just an island you could go to that had animals that you, like it was basically a zoo, a weird
Mhm.
zoo. Um, so I bet you there was some stuff going on there tie in with it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's I don't know, man. It's weird because like only a few years prior to this, they did a much better mouse centric movie.
yeah,
Like
like a few years prior to this, they did this movie but better with the
yeah,
exact like. Um, I like the story of when they were animating McLeach. They based his mannerisms off of his character in Doctor Strangelove, which is absolutely perfect. Like, yeah, this,
yeah,
this
yeah. I could see it.
yeah,
Like he even looks like 1960s
yeah.
George C. Scott.
So yeah, this used CAPS, which is what was the acronym for Computer Animation Production System. So it was all like digital ink and paint, and there was no camera involved. Um, uh, and it did use so CGI. Um,
Yeah.
the CGI elements in this movie were the flyover the Sydney Opera House,
Hmm.
um, McLeach's truck was
Oh
CG.
yeah, yeah. It had that very
Yeah,
like early PC CD game look
yeah,
to it. Yeah,
yeah. Um, and and it and like the New York City shots were all
with
CG.
the
Yeah,
Blizzard. Yeah.
and things like other things. You get things like uh, the flowers at the beginning during
Hmm.
the like other stuff. It's like so, they tend to like use this stuff. It's like when you went to like the Black Cauldron and things like that, where it's like bubbles are like CG or something. Like that was sort of the thing. But this was uh, the first collaboration with Pixar that Disney
Right.
did. Pixar still in its infancy at this time. But, they're trying to more sell a computer to do CG than they are to be a movie studio at the time.
This is
Even though
The Steve Jobs era Pixar,
this
right?
is Steve Jobs Pixar.
Yeah.
Um, so you know, this is 1990, and then 16 years later they get bought out by Disney. So it becomes inevitably a fruitful relationship. But
You
you're
don't say.
yeah, you're only a few years away from their like feature film debut.
Right.
So this is 1990, and Toy Story is 95. So
Yeah.
you're really close. Um, but they didn't advertise it that in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing in the promotional materials, nothing about this being digital or CG or
No.
anything. Which
I
at for any other studio, it would have been a thing. It would have been like there would have been a full page ad taken out in Variety explaining what the
yeah.
process being used, but Disney was just sort of very quiet about it on
Do
this end.
you? Let me ask you a question. How old were you when this movie came out?
1990, so I've been about five. I was born in
Okay.
'85.
So so do you remember any kind of like I remember like a commercial here and there
Well,
for
because
it.
so there's a reason for that, and we're going to get into it now, because uh, when it came out, its opening weekend was a disaster. It opened fourth its opening weekend, which for a Disney movie, especially coming off of Little Mermaid, is a disaster.
But
It
as you said, it opened against Home Alone.
opening against Home Alone. It came in fourth behind Home Alone, Rocky Five, and Child's Play Two. Um,
I mean, ooh, I can see coming in behind Home Alone.
yeah,
Those other two aren't great sequels.
yeah, but I can see coming in behind Rocky Five because Rocky Four was a massive success and people
Yeah,
loved Rocky. And at a point, it takes a while to really let it sink in, especially in a pre-internet age, that Rocky Five is not really worth going out of your way to go see.
the last
Um,
12 minutes are.
yeah, yeah.
That street
Um,
fight.
and I don't understand. Like, I like the Child's Play, like the first couple Child's Play movies, but I don't understand how that is opening at number four, and it's well past Halloween at this point. Like,
I mean, the Chucky phenomenon was still like,
yeah,
we're also coming like, we're getting out of the 80s slashers era.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
still kind of there.
yeah. Child's Play is probably like the last major sort of slasher franchise hit. Like,
Yeah.
horror movies are kind of going to a cryo sleep for a spell. Um, but I mean, they're still going to exist, but they're not going to be the cultural phenomenons that they were at the time.
No,
Um,
they're going to go kind of direct to video or, whatever.
yeah, so opening weekend it made $3.5 million.
Yikes.
It's Katzenberg, good old Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was the Walt Disney Studios chairman, pulled all advertising after its disastrous opening weekend. That's why you didn't see any commercials.
Mm,
Um, so its initial run in the United States was about $28 million,
right.
which is significantly less than any other movie in this era of movies. Like by a substantial amount.
Well, it makes you question: would this have been? So we talked about the ornaments before.
Yeah,
That had to be the next month, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was kind of advertising, I guess, but
yeah.
not really.
Um, Also, this movie was paired with Mickey Mouse's The Prince and the Pauper
Oh,
theatrically. So, you know, I thought that was interesting.
yeah, it is. Like I
Yeah,
actually kind of like the Prince and Popper.
yeah. Um, so yeah, disaster out the gate. Um, and it was well received for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't this major critical success, but Roger Ebert loved it. Gene Siskel loved it. They all said that it was a fun, intense little animated adventure movie.
Sure.
Uh, and Roger Ebert, his thing about animation is you want to experience something that's impossible in reality,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the Rescuers Down Under is trying to accomplish. Like, it's an adventure with animals that could never really happen.
There's no eagle that size.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so it was relatively well received, but again, it's coming off of too late into um, the Australia trend. On top of just the year before, you had The Little Mermaid,
Yeah, and
which yeah,
it doesn't feel like again like if this movie is made today, if you had straight to video, it
yeah,
feels straight to video.
it
Everything about
does.
it feels
It
straight to
does.
video.
Well, because like flash forward, a decade and a half where CG is what you use. Like, it's cheap to make animation, so like you know, or even computer assisted animation and stuff. Like, this really would have been like the cheap straight to video. Cinderella 2 followed immediately by Rescuers Down Under or
Right.
something. So one review was fun that said that the villain is too malignant, and the young vigilante hero seems like he's supposed to be a kiddie Rambo, which I'm like,
Huh?
I okay.
Ram
I can see
Rambo?
what you're saying as he's trying to use sort of the environment around him to sort of make his escape kind of stuff.
I guess.
But I guess if Rambo was, I guess in First Blood, if
I
he
mean,
was immediately captured by the police and then never got away,
yeah. It's like
just stayed
Brian Dennehy captures him. And he's like,
yeah, yeah.
all right, Rambo, tell me where the rest of your Vietnam vets are, and I'll let you go.
Um, it hurts. It hurts when you have your advertising pulled, um, because it shows lack of confidence.
Yep.
And Katzenberg hasn't exactly been a great friend to the animation studio. Um,
Going back to Black Cauldron.
Coming back to Black Cauldron. Um, but yeah, so it opens the same weekend as Home Alone, like
Which a
which
monster hit.
monster hit, and it was sort of suspected to be a monster hit. Like it had the advertising budget. It was, the people involved, like, making the movie were well loved. Like, Macaulay Culkin wasn't, nobody knew that that was going to be the success of the movie.
He'd only done like Uncle Buck, I think, at that point.
Yeah, but like, and then it turns out that Home Alone is like the highest grossing movie of 1990. So
Yeah. I mean, it comes out in November, and
yeah,
it's a perennial holiday film.
yeah,
Yeah, to this
um,
day, I think.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I know. It's definitely one of the ones that I watch every year.
Sam, yeah,
And
the sequel.
the sequel. But also, I also quote that one a lot because I like the line, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
Yeah,
I use that quite a
my
bit.
wife will often say like, "I hope you guys are drinking milk because I don't want it to go bad." Yeah.
So it's yeah, exponentially better movie than this.
Yes, I mean, but
uh,
I don't have a problem with this movie.
uh, no, so we always like to talk about sort of its influence later on, and nothing. I mean,
Nah,
there was no music in it, so I mean, it was just a simple scored movie. Um, and anything that would be like pop up anywhere else would be inspired by the first movie and not this one. Like the theme
yeah,
park, anything. There's nothing like characters obviously were there because anytime there's a movie, they have costume characters.
yeah.
Uh,
Like I said, maybe the ornaments, but
yeah,
even those are based off the first movie. So
yeah. So yeah, it's not it holds no significance, unfortunately.
I like. I
To
was telling you when I was saying about the commercials. Like I remember more commercials for the VHS release than the actual theatrical release.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I'm looking to see, was it I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes breakdowns of these movies,
Hmm.
and it is not the lowest rated on Rotten Tomatoes. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at 68% based off of
Which
25 reviews. It's
which is
decent.
not terrible. No.
Little Mermaid 92%, Beauty and the Beast 94, Aladdin 94, Lion King 93. Pocahontas has the lowest, and it's at 57%. So uh, Tarzan
It's
88%.
I'm sorry, you said 8%. Wow, that's really low. Must be the
um,
awful soundtrack.
I'm just going to put it in perspective. So I have no idea what the budget to this movie is. I looked at a few different places. Uh, I couldn't find a budget. All I know is that it made $28 million domestically, and worldwide it's made about $47 million, which is for a Disney movie sad.
Yeah.
Um, if you look at anything else, Little Mermaid, $211 million worldwide. Beauty and the Beast, 443. Aladdin, 500. Like it is significantly lower than any other Renaissance era Disney movie, which
Well,
is It's very depressing.
Well, you and I even talked about off air. Like the only way to get this movie as we speak is like
Yeah.
a 2-pack with the original Rescuers.
Yeah.
Like they're not Disney's
Yeah.
not like going, hey, it's back out.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
remastered it, and all, like it just kind of.
I feel like it's one of those, every once in a while when you get like a box set and it's like, we've remastered the first movie with it from a 4K assets.
Yeah.
And also it's just a like generically remastered like the sequel is also been remastered.
Yeah.
We didn't put we put about 1/3 the effort
Yeah.
into it. So.
Yeah, it's like my Aliens set. They're like, we like the 40th anniversary of Aliens and Aliens.
Yeah.
But then also, we did some stuff with Resurrection too.
Yeah.
it's there.
It's the best quality Resurrection you'll ever see. We didn't really put any effort into it. It's
Quality and resurrection do not go together, but okay.
But so yeah, no awards. I don't even think it was nominated for anything.
Yeah.
It's this little lost Disney movie. It's a bummer. I think it's better than what history tells you it is, but I also don't think it's that good.
I mean, it's inoffensive. That's the best I can say. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna watch it and go like, oh, like no, it's fine.
It's empty calorie movie.
Yes. Okay. Yes. It's a.
Yeah. Like you won't hate yourself for watching it. I watched it last night. You watched it last night.
Yeah, I watched it while playing Cuphead, so that's to tell you like how invested I was in it.
A new little thing that we like to do on these is kind of look at the era of movies to see, because in some cases, especially going forward from now on, they're going to be as competitive with some of the top grossing movies of the year. Obviously, this is not one of those cases, but 1990 was a very fun year for movies. Here's your top 10 highest grossing movies of 1990. Number 1 is Ghost.
Okay.
That was a big hit of a movie. And it's a movie that, still holds some sort of pop culture relevance to this day. So
mostly the pottery wheel thing.
Mostly the pottery wheel scene, but that's still like more impact than the entire 77 minutes
of Rescuers
Down Under. Home Alone, number 2.
Right.
Number 3 is Pretty. Yeah. Number 3 is Pretty Woman.
Oh yeah, that's still kind of a big.
Yeah. Number 4 is Dances with Wolves.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 5 is Total Recall.
That's so far besides Home Alone, that's the one I like the most on this list.
Number 6 is Back to the Future Part 3.
Not the worst of the 3, but
I like right. I like Back to the Future Part 3 more than 2 as a whole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 2 is awful.
2, because 2, like, it's fun to see the future stuff, but that's such a small part of the movie that most of the movie just takes place during the first movie.
Yeah, it's I would just like skip when I watch them. I'll skip from 1 to 3. Yeah.
I think they do a good job at doing a Western movie. In fact, number 7, Die Hard 2.
See, that's a good Die Hard. The first 3 Die Hards are all good.
Yes.
The second one's good.
Number 8 is the weirdest one on there, and it's the movie Presumed Innocent.
Presumed Innocent.
It is a Harrison Ford legal drama.
Oh, good lord! This is like that's that right.
Yeah.
That period where he's like doing like Jack Ryan and it's like regarding Henry and
Harrison Ford, Brian Dennehy, and Raul Julia.
Oh God, I have to watch this movie now.
Yeah.
The sheriff from Rambo and M. Bison.
And Han Solo.
And he's Indiana Jones to me.
Okay. Sorry. So that's a weirder one that's just sort of sneaks in under the radar. Number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, there we go. That's my favorite movie in this list so far.
And number 10 is Kindergarten Cop.
What the hell?
Yeah, Kindergarten Cop, top 10 movie of 1990.
So
Uh,
Schwarzenegger had 2 movies on the top 10 list.
yeah, yeah.
Like
I don't think
you,
Schwarzenegger was Schwarzenegger is at his peak right here. Like
yeah,
you're about like between now and Terminator 2 is just like
yeah.
the era of you know Arnold Schwarzenegger being this pop culture icon.
Because I think what the year before was Running Man, maybe
Yeah,
was Running Man in year before, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but Academy Award winners, obviously, uh, when you what is it? Dances with Wolves,
Yeah,
starts uh,
yeah. I have
scooping
a,
everything.
I
Uh,
have a, I have a sore spot for Dances with Wolves,
yeah.
which is dumb, and I'll tell you off air because it's just stupid.
Okay. um, but yeah, you have some interesting other movies that came out, some big movies too that weren't in the
Right.
top 10. One of them not being Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Again, we're at the end of this era of slasher films.
Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey in it?
No, that one would be the Next
Four.
Generation or whatever
Okay.
that
All right.
is. The one where he's the cross-dressing Leatherface.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Tremors.
See, okay, I like Tremors.
Tremors is the first Tremors in particular is very,
I
very good.
unapologetically love the first
I
Tremors.
I don't think there's anything to be apologized about. I think Tremors, for what it is, they made the exact movie they set out to make, and it works incredibly well.
Hey guys, this movie's about like giant ground snakes starring Kevin Bacon and also Reba McEntire.
Yeah,
Like
uh,
you'll love this movie. What?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Hunt for Red October,
Also fantastic. Maybe okay, now that is my favorite movie on this list.
House Party,
Okay, no.
Kid and Play,
I've seen it. I like House Party. It's fun.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, God. That's right. This still like Burbs era
Yeah,
Tom Hanks.
yeah, Tom Hanks before he's the massive S tier superstar. We still have
Yeah.
Tom Hanks making these kinds of movies.
I think
How
he
about
does
how about Blind Fury, the Rutger Hauer blind samurai movie? It's
Oh God, is that what that was? Okay.
yeah, it's Zaitoichi, but put American.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Lord of the Flies adaptation.
Sure.
We've already said Pretty Woman. Let's see, Ernest Goes to Jail. Uh,
Which I'd probably rather watch.
the Tales from the Dark Side movie.
There was a movie?
Yeah, there was.
Wow. They have that same creepy theme song, I wonder.
It's been a long time since I've seen Tales from the Dark Side, but I know George Romero was one of the writers on it. So
Oh, okay.
you know, I just saw something. Cadillac Man, the Robin Williams.
Again, that's like that's the era where he just kind of like doing like Moscow on the Hudson kind of
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Another 48 Hours.
Mm.
Another Disney flop of Dick Tracy.
Oh, good God. And that movie got a ton of marketing.
Yeah, it did. I mean, yeah, toys and collectibles and everything under the sun.
And
A per-
they never did release a blank figure, JJ. It was never released.
a personal favorite of mine on this list is Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Boy, that movie's weird.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's so weird, but
But like the Bat Gremlin, it sticks with
yeah.
me. Yeah.
RoboCop 2,
It's okay.
yeah, as written by comic book legend Frank Miller.
Yeah, it's all right.
Kind of. Days of Thunder,
I like Days of Thunder.
Ghost Dad,
Oh, okay. Let's not talk about that movie.
directed by Sidney Poitier, and that's all I will say. Uh,
Yeah.
the Jetsons movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Remember when Andrew Dice? Oh no, I was. This is yeah, Andrew Dice Clay, right?
Yeah, it has Andrew Dice Clay and Wayne Newton.
Man,
Uh, let's see. A re-release of The Jungle Book was in July.
which probably did better than Rescuers Down Under, I'm sure.
Well, certainly. A movie that really stuck with me through the rest of my life, Arachnophobia.
Oh God, I'm
Yeah.
not even afraid of spiders, but I can see that. Yeah.
Problem Child, which
Oh,
that
that
was,
came out the
yeah.
NBC used to show the hell out of Problem Child.
Ace. How about this? Young Guns 2. No, that's not what I was going to get at, but
I
a
like Young Guns too.
the significantly better Disney animated movie came out in 1990. DuckTales, the movie.
The Treasure of the
Treasure of
Lost Land.
came out the same year.
I
It's a significantly better movie than Rescuers Down Under.
I mean, I think I saw this. Say I saw it for the same price at FYE as the Rescuers 2-pack.
Oh,
Just go buy that.
yeah. You mentioned that you made a joke about it earlier. Exorcist 3 did come out the same year.
Oh my God. That okay? So that movie. I know the first Exorcist is scary. The second one
Yeah.
is kind of garbage.
Yeah.
The third one is actually legitimately disturbing.
Exorcist 3, highly recommend Exorcist 3.
That like just Google the nurse station scene.
Oh boy, Dark Man.
Oh, Liam Neeson,
Liam Neeson, Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Emilio Estevez Garbage Man movie.
Never seen it.
Men at Work. Yeah.
Nope.
Let's see. Anything else? Goodfellas. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. How is Goodfellas not in the top 10?
I I don't. I mean, it was even like nominated. Like it wasn't like it was even like nominated for awards and stuff. I don't know. That
Like
seems weird. It
Ray
seems super.
Liotta laughing gif insert
Yeah.
here.
Fantasia re-release in
Okay,
October.
which also that I actually we saw in theaters.
Troll
My,
2.
this is the oh my God troll, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. This
Yes.
is that one. Okay.
Yeah. Has absolutely zero to do with Troll 1 or trolls in general because they are goblins in the movie, not trolls.
Yeah.
The Tom Savini Night of the Living Dead like remake.
Oh God. Yeah.
Quigley Down Under.
Hell yeah.
Quigley Down
That's the
Under
best.
came out like just before Rescue.
If you're gonna watch a Down Under movie, watch Quigley. That movie is friggin' awesome.
Soul Taker, a Mystery Science Theater classic.
Oh, with which Estevez was it?
Oh, Joe.
It
It
was
was Joe
Joe
Estevez.
Estevez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob's Ladder.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that movie! Holy God, that movie!
Uh, Whoa, wait. Oh, the very next week, Predator 2 opened after Rescuers Down Under. The next weekend was Predator 2.
You know what? I liked Predator too.
I didn't.
It's fine. I liked it. I like I really like the part at the end where the Predator gives him like the old dueling pistol.
Yeah. Three Men and a Little Lady, Misery, which is a fantastic movie.
That's a great movie.
The Rookie.
Oh yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
Good movie.
Look Who's Talking 2.
Nope.
Mermaids,
Which I talked about last week.
which we talked at length last. Bonfire of the Vanity. Kiki's Delivery Service, a
There you go.
classic animated film from Studio Ghibli. Highly recommended.
My sister's favorite anime film.
Kindergarten Cop. And wrapping up the year of significant movies, Christmas Day release of Godfather Part 3.
Ugh. Ugh.
So that's your year of 1990. Just to let you know that you can see a lot of reasons why The Rescuers was significantly less successful, especially compared to some of the other stuff that Disney had on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so you
I
know,
mean,
it is what it is. Everyone's gonna forget about the Rescuers Down Under almost immediately.
we're gonna forget about it once we get done wrapping this podcast. So
Yeah, I'll never think
yeah,
about the Rescuers Down Under again until. And it's funny because we mentioned when we did the Rescuers one that's like I don't think I saw this movie. I think I only saw Rescuers Down Under, and I was watching this movie. I was like, yeah, this is the one I saw. I
yeah.
remember the Rescuers Down Under pretty well. I don't remember the beats, but I remember like animation bits and stuff. Yeah, this was the one I remember.
I guarantee you, the next time like I give any significant thought to this thing will be like when the podcast drops, and maybe like if I'm on Disney Plus in several months, like oh that's right.
They'll be they will do a live action remake of
God,
Rescuers Down Under.
boy,
Uh,
mm.
is and they could just is Crocodile Dundee still alive? I'm assuming he is.
Paul Hogan.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
actually. I've seen him in something recently. What the hell was
Just
it?
just get him to play McLeach in a live action.
Or hear me out, just do another Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee takes Manhattan.
Crocodile Dundee watches the rescuers done under. Oh, that's not how we are.
Yeah. It would just be him getting increasingly more upset that this was an Australian Disney movie and he didn't even get asked to do it.
What if it's just like Paul Hogan doing an MST3K over this movie?
Okay, yeah, I'm in.
Now you're in. Him and Mel Gibson and like Chris Hemsworth just watching it.
Chris and
No,
Liam
sorry,
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth's from New Zealand. So
Yeah,
Paul Hogan, Hugh Jackman, and Mel Gibson.
there we go.
Yeah,
You won't be Wolverine, but we're gonna make you do something for us at Disney.
yeah. God sakes, please do something. Well, I mean, they own Greatest Showman now, so technically.
Yeah. All right, you ready to rank it?
Let's do it.
All right, Nick. Uh, Robin Hood,
Nope.
Jungle Book,
Nope.
Sword in the Stone,
No.
Winnie the Pooh,
No.
Little Mermaid,
No.
Dumbo,
No.
Fantasia,
No.
Great Mouse Detective,
No.
Black Cauldron,
No.
Cinderella,
No.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad,
No.
The Rescuers,
No.
Aristocats.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not as good as its predecessor, but it's not much worse.
Okay, there we go. So where does that put that on your list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on your
Yeah.
list out of 29.
It's gonna drop. Let's put it that way. It's about to drop.
Yeah, significantly. And we got
That top 10's gonna
yeah.
shake up a bit.
All right. For me, Jungle Book, no. Fantasia, no. Winnie the Pooh, no. Cinderella, no. Snow White, no. Little Mermaid, no. Peter Pan, no. Robin Hood, no. Great Mouse Detective, no. Black Cauldron, no. 101 Dalmatians, no. The Rescuers, no. Aristocats, I like Aristocats more. Lady and the Tramp, no. Sleeping Beauty, no. Pinocchio, no. Alice in Wonderland, no. Dumbo, no. Ichabod and Mr. Toad, no. I liked it more than Oliver and Company.
Wow.
So I really, really did not care for this movie.
I mean, we talk. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just nothing special about it.
Yeah, and compared to something like, you know, Dumbo made me cry,
Right.
or Alice in Wonderland is a visual treat. There's
Yeah.
nothing plot wise, but it looks so good. Pinocchio is memorable. Like yeah. So what does that put it on my list? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Wow.
So it's 20 out of 29 on my list.
That's
Yeah. So,
it doesn't benefit from where it is
oh,
chronologically.
yeah. Uh, like, thank goodness the next movie is what the next movie is, because if not, there'd be no Disney anything. Like, you couldn't, like, it wouldn't survive another failure with
Yeah.
the people that are overseeing the studio right now. Katzenberg and Eisner would never allow another failure to the degree of this movie. Um, so, especially coming off of Little Mermaid, which is just this, cultural and financial success. So,
I mean, until we started getting into the nuts and bolts of this podcast, I assumed that the action it was Little Mermaid and then next week's film.
yeah.
I just completely blanked on this one being in the middle.
Well, and also there's probably I'd say there's a 75% chance that you just sort of thought that this was a, uh, a VHS sequel that came out in the mid 90s as opposed to,
Well, I knew it came out in theaters, but
yeah,
I thought it was like before Little Mermaid.
you
Yeah.
thought it was like Oliver and Company, The Rescuers Down Under,
Yeah.
and then,
Yes. Exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah.
so, nope, not in the slightest. You shoved this one between next week's movie, November 22nd, 1991, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. A little film called Beauty and the Beast that you may or may not have heard of.
Uh, so, it's, yeah, just this little, like, little significance to the overall history of Disney films. Beauty and the
Uh,
Beast.
that that might be a longer episode.
I'm fully expecting this one to be a longer episode. There's probably going to be much more enthusiasm,
Yeah.
behind it,
Yeah.
um, and there's some interesting stories to go with
Yeah.
it.
And a hell of a legacy.
Hell of a legacy. Um, One of the more significant legacies
Yeah.
they have, and keeps going forward. So yeah, next week, Beauty and the Beast. As you probably noticed, we did not record an episode while we were at Disneyland.
No, we were. Well, I was too busy getting stuck on a ride.
You're between getting stuck on a ride and bullied by a little child. Uh,
She took my chair.
your chair right from you, just yanked it away from you.
Again, I love I love the fact that JJ and I had trouble fitting into the Space Mountain. Oh, I did. And then we're like, let's go eat some cheeseburgers.
Yeah, yeah. So we go from Space Mountain and immediately hoof it over to the Hungry Bear Cafe or restaurant at Critter Country, opposite side of the park, by the way. Like, we didn't even.
Just burn some calories on the way over there.
So we did our research.
Or we just decided to spur the moment, let's go eat some burgers.
Yeah, and we knew that was the best place to get a burger at Disneyland.
Exactly.
so, so that was that. So yeah, it doesn't matter in the overall scheme of the archive, but I I had some issues with the last episode and planning for a vacation, so it was a little late, and I apologize. But that's all on me. Uh, but it's yeah, I got it up eventually. It worked
Yeah.
out in the end that we didn't record an episode because because I ended up being late anyways. So
Yeah.
it's
JJ was
fine.
enjoying his time off, so
I was. So
yeah.
there we go. Uh, it's another one in the can. Thank you all again for joining us. We'll be back next week for Beauty and the Beast. Um, it's going to be a good time, and have a magical day.